Hi, I'm Mikey, and today I'm going to talk about going bald at a young age. I'm 23, and as you can see, I have no hair, but I started to notice my hair thinning back when I was about 19 years old. I had longer hair at the time. The hair actually was like down here at this time, but it got longer because I didn't shave my head I didn't cut my hair until I was 20. Didn't shave my head until I was 22. But I wanted to talk more about going bald young. So when you start going bald, it can be very intimidating. So when you first start going bald, especially at a young age, you can become insecure about that because you always hear bald jokes. You always hear about how bald people are ugly, and you hear all this negative stuff about bald people and losing your hair, and it can make you feel very insecure. I know I was insecure. I was insecure for several years. I was in denial. I tried vitamin E oil to keep my hair. I tried a few other things to try to keep my hair, but at the end of the day, it wasn't worth it. It didn't really help me at all. Like, I see no change. Instead, my hair was getting thinner and thinner, and there's nothing I could do about that. And it made me feel a little insecure. And I hated looking in the mirror because every time I looked in the mirror, I'd just see that thin hair, and it made me feel really ugly. It made me feel less than, and it made me just not that confident. And it really damaged the way I thought about myself. But after I cut my hair, it made me feel more confident because I wasn't looking at that thin hair anymore. I was able to actually enjoy the way I looked because I took my insecurity and I got rid of it. I just shaved it off, and then I wasn't insecure anymore. It did take about a month or two for me to get used to seeing myself like this, but once I got used to it, I actually kind of did really start to prefer it. Now, when it comes to my family's reaction of me shaving my head and going bald, it was a fairly well reaction, got a few jokes, but all in all, nothing changed. People did not view me any differently, and I was able to just be like this, and it was really fun. And people actually gave me compliments about looking like this as well, and that kind of really did help out. And I don't feel insecure about it anymore because it was one of those things where I was insecure and I hated the way I looked. I shaved my head, and then once I did that and realized nobody really seen me differently, it changed everything. Another thing that you can feel insecure about going bald is girls. You might feel like you won't be attractive anymore, but that is not really the case because it doesn't matter if you have hair or no hair, you can still attract girls because so when it comes to girls, a lot of them are attracted to people that are driven. As far as if you make excuses for everything, if you don't try for anything, if you just let life pass you by, I'll say that. If you make excuses on why you can't do better in life, if you want something but you don't go for it, like if you want to own a business but you're like, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to actually do that. I wish I owned my business, but I can never do that. If you make excuses and you're like that, that can be seen as really unattractive. If you complain about a lot, that's seen as really unattractive and you're going to push girls away. But if you are like, I want a business, and then you work hard and you get that business, if you don't make excuses for life, and if you actually try to do the things you want to do in life, and you're driven, and you actually do things without making excuses, and you don't complain about every little thing, you are seen as more attractive. Doesn't matter if you have hair or not, a quality woman will go for someone that is driven. And that's all you have to do. It's whether you have hair or not, it doesn't really affect too much about that. As long as you have a good personality, you're funny, and you're actually driven and actually go and do things. Because confidence is key. Going after things like if you want to start a business, go after that business. If you want to buy a house, do what you can to go after buying that house. Stay driven, and that is what would be attractive. And that's all I have to say about that as well. So if you're worried about going bald because girls won't find you attractive, that's just kind of one thing I noticed, is just be driven, don't complain all the time. Do what you gotta do in life, and just have your hobbies, and that's it. And one thing I noticed too is when you have thin hair, it does not complement the way you look, and it does not look good. But if you shave your head, it looks better than having thin hair. Now, would I look better with thick hair? Yeah, I probably will look better with thick hair. But I look better like this than I did when I had thin hair. because that thin hair was ugly. It did not look good on me, and it was kind of did not compliment my head, compliment the way I looked or anything like that. But shaving off that thin hair, I looked a lot better, and that's what I have to say about that. So that's kind of just what it's like going bald young. You're insecure. It's hard to go through with cutting your hair, but once you do, you realize it's not that bad. Once you look in the mirror, once you get used to being shaved, and you look in the mirror and you don't see that thin hair anymore, you can be more happy with how you look. And that's what I have to say for this video. So if your hair is thinning at a young age, don't worry about it. You can't change it really. There might be some instances where you can change it a little bit, but in the end, it only matters if you make it matter. If you are scared of going bald, well then it matters. But if you embrace it and you shave your head and you embrace everything and you continue your life, then it doesn't matter. And you only give it power. It only has power if you give it power. And nothing in my life changed. That's another thing I was worried about. I thought people would see me differently, but no one did. I still have the same job, the same friends, I still play guitar, still watch the same movies. I'm still the same person I was. Nothing really changed. And that's all I have for this video, so why don't you subscribe down below for some more videos and enjoy the rest of your day.